What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the NG Models July 2023 releases. We are back to the very large sets from NG this month, as what the hints will indicate. We do have quite a few models to take a look at, so let's see what the hints are, and then we'll check out the releases. We have one 737-600, two 737-700s, four 737-800s, two 737-900s, four 737 Maxes, four 7878 Dreamliners, one 7879 Dreamliner, two Airbus A320s, three Airbus A321s, one Airbus A330, one Airbus A350, one Tupolev Tu-204, two Lockheed L-1011 TriStars, one Comex C919, and then under the Buchanan Models brand, we have two Lockheed L-1011 TriStars. So, if I count them all up here, we are up to 31 models for this release, or at least what has been planned by NG, because as we know, they sometimes don't announce certain hits, and then they'll throw in extra ones in there as well. So sometimes you'll have like a net gain or a net loss from what was originally planned. So we'll have to see what's going on with this release set, so let's go ahead and get started. Our first release in question, we do have an Air China 737-600. I know that they have done a couple Air China narrow-body planes in the past, but it's been hard to keep track of which ones they do. And then we have a China Southern 737-700 with no winglets. That is a good release right there. Plenty of Asian releases I'm expecting for this month. We have an Aeromexico 737-700 in the chrome livery up next. Great to see that. That'll please plenty of collectors. We have an OK Air 737-900, also another Asian release. This is an ER variant. We have another Bonza 737 MAX 8. I believe this may have been a future release, if I'm not mistaken, because one thing that NG is doing this month is that they are clearing out a lot of that future release backlog, so we already know a lot of these releases, so just keep that in mind as we go through this release set. We have a Scoot 787-8 up next. They've done several of these. I think they've now done as many Scoot releases as they've done of Singapore Airlines. We have a Thai 787-8 up next. Also good to see this for some of the Asian collectors. So again, Asia getting a lot of representation in this release. We have another EVA Air 787-9. This is with the 787 titles there up on the front. I feel like they've done that one as well. We have an Air France A330-200 with the revised livery, so this is with the larger Air France titles up at the front compared to the previous iteration. We have a Starlux A350-900. Looks like another one of these is coming out. So it seems like NG does like to re-release stuff rather quickly because they know that there's quite a lot of demand for some of their models, so they'll like to do re-releases of plenty of their models well in advance. So that collectors can get a good opportunity to get one, which I think is don't get me wrong, it's a good idea, because I know other manufacturers don't re-release stuff so soon. They always like to wait just for the value to go up, but here with NG, they definitely keep the collectors in mind with that aspect, but I don't know about everything else. Cubana Cargo Tupolev Tu-204-100 up next. Again, I feel like another one of those releases that they've done previously. And this next release should please a lot of Asian collectors. We have a Cathay Pacific L-1011 TriStar in the green livery. So this is the what they call like the lettuce livery, the green lettuce livery, because of that green color. This is a slightly revised version as they have the logo position changed according to their remarks section. We have an Air India Lockheed L-1011 TriStar. This is a 500 variant. I should start specifying each of the TriStar variants. So the Cathay Pacific was a -1, and then this one was a -500. We have a China Eastern Comex C919. This is with a metal stand, the first revenue flight of the type. So you see there with the logo there on the bottom. Looks really nice. Then we have our Buchanan release. I'm a bit sad about this one. This is the Air Canada L-1011 TriStar with the Eastern Hybrid. Where is the Eastern L-1011 polish livery? Because that has been a really popular request from collectors for one of those to be done, and not one of these like hybrids or whatever. Because I know there's a lot of hybrids, and it seems like from what I understand, Buchanan is trying to do a lot of these hybrid liveries, so that seems to be their main goal here. Then there were two TriStars, so the other one we have here is Atlantic International. This is a fictional airline that was used in the movie Passenger 57. I've not seen that movie personally, but that does seem quite interesting. So I guess that's a good release, I would say, since I've never really seen, like movie fictional airlines from movies being made before. I know that there's plenty of subjects that could be done with that. We have a Hainan Airlines 737-800 with a Pepsi livery, so that is quite unique, I would say. Very blue livery there with Pepsi. We have a Gulf 737-800 in the Smiles livery. There's some text there which I can't read because I'm not fluent in that language, unfortunately. There's another Gulf 737-800. This is a Club Smiles, so this is more of a blue-ish livery compared to the previous one. Had the orange there on the first one. This one has a little less. We do have Qatar in this set, but it is a 737 MAX 8, so a good change from what they typically release here with like the 777s and all that stuff, because they've done a lot of those lately. It looks like one of our future releases is up next. We do have Emua 1, if I can say that right. I'll just call it like Hawaii 1 or Aloha 1, because that's what other people refer to it as. But yeah, looking really good here with Emua 1, and I am thinking about getting this. It'd be my first NG purchase since last August, though I am waiting on them to get the Peter Max and American Chrome 777s out, because they have been delayed for several months. We have a Virgin Australia 737 MAX 8, and this does have a number in the registration for a Australian aircraft, Victor Hotel-8 India Alpha. That is the registration. It's their first 737 MAX. And then we have More to Love. This is another one of the future releases, Alaska 737-900. A bit unfortunate that they have not updated the details there, because you see on the engines, if you look there, there are Alaska and Virgin America titles. So this is an older iteration of this livery, as in more recent pictures, if you do look up this aircraft, it does not have those there anymore, because the Alaska and Virgin America merger happened back in 2016. So a bit unfortunate they did not update that, because I know there was one guy that I know who requested that to be updated, but it doesn't look like that they followed through with that, which is quite unfortunate. We have a Mexico 787-8. Looks like it's a government plane. So I see it's like a president, so it's like a presidential plane, I would assume. We have another 787. It looks like this may be another government one up next, as the photo wants to load here. Okay, here we go. It says from Tajikistan, so very nice to see that. Government planes getting some representation in this release. And then here we have some Avianca aircraft. This is an Avianca A320 with the Aviateca heritage livery, because it seems like they've been doing a lot of these heritage liveries. I know Avianca has quite a lot of these in their fleet. And then there's also an A320neo. This is the Aerogal heritage livery. So there you see it on the tail. Looks really good. Then we have some French aircraft up next. We have some A321neo. So this is a house livery for the A321 XLR, flying extra long range. You see there the Statue of Liberty for New York, and then the Colosseum for Rome. I haven't really seen too many of those Airbus house liveries in a little while. The last one I can recall was the Beluga stuff that they've done. We have another A321 XLR livery. This one is with the QR code livery. So there you see the QR code towards the rear of the aircraft. Then we have another A321neo up next. This is another flying extra long-range colors. So this one is, those are the Twin Towers in, I think it's in like Malaysia or something, if I remember correctly. And then there's the Opera House there in Sydney. So just trying to show there how far it can fly. So that's like Kuala Lumpur to Sydney. So that's a pretty long route. I don't know the exact flight length of it, but that is pretty much the length of that route. There are some future releases as well. I'll just quickly mention these. These have been announced previously, but I'll just mention them here because why not? We do have a Riyadh Air 787-9. This is a bit of a unique livery right here. I love the purple on this. Now, they do have the test registration on this. I hope that NG will update that and include the actual registration when that enters service. We do have the new JetBlue A321 livery. This is the new mint livery that they debuted on 982 Juliet Bravo. Then we have an ANA 787-9 Dreamliner. This is a Pikachu jet livery. We have two 747-8s. We have an Atlas Air with the green primer on there. That's like the zinc chromate. That's how it causes that color to take place. That's the last 747 built as well. And then we have a BOAC 747-8, a very interesting release, a fantasy release that they are doing here. But that is everything we have for this release. Plenty of diversity, but there's a lot of re-releases in here, so it does not seem like that NG is really innovating that much with their release choices, as they are simply releasing a lot of the same subjects, but at the very least they are fulfilling some of the retro stuff, like with the TriStars. There are definitely a lot more that they can do, but hopefully they will fulfill on that in the future. I'd say my picks of interest here would be the Emua 1. That's really the only thing that I'd be interested in. If I did have a little bit of a touch there with some like Asian retro stuff, I would definitely go for that Cathay Pacific, because I've kind of grown to like that livery. So I may end up going for that maybe really later on down the road. But I don't know how rare those things are going to get, so it may be gone by the time I'm even able to think about getting it, since those things can go quick. But nevertheless, we do have another large set. I don't know if we got to the full 31, so let me count here. Okay, so we did have all 31 releases in this set, so nothing lost, nothing gained, so perfectly as advertised. And of course, not including those future releases, since those have been previously announced. So I would assume that those would be coming out later. That's pretty much all I got. So with that being said, that is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.